It's your Frontier opening bell. It's Tuesday, the second trading day of the week, the 6th of August. Welcome, everyone. Of course, you know the news already. Trillions of dollars wiped off global marketplace on Monday. Concerns about likely escalation of tensions and crisis in the Middle East. Israel, Hamas, Iran, the Houthis, and everyone else in between. On one hand, then you've got data out of the US indicating the likely recession for the world's number one economy and, of course, a leading oil consumer. So the markets went on a tailspin Monday, taking a cue from Thursday and Friday last week, and also expectations as to when and by how much will the US Fed cut interest rates. The Bank of Japan, the Bank of Japan tinker with its interest rate. Last week, the market still adjusting to that. But just take a look at the screen as you see the trading day Monday across Africa. The Egyptian market bucked very strongly, 2.33% after starting Sunday. The start of the week, about 2.29%. The Nairobi stock market fell by 2%. The GSE in South Africa fell below the 80,000 reading. The banking sector moderated the decline we saw on the Nigerian market on Monday. MTN shares down sharply 6%. The banks tried to, and consumer goods balance that out a bit. So the decline was not as such on the NGX. The PRVM was down by about 0.5%. Let's just move on. President Ruto yesterday signed the new supplementary budget or appropriations into effect and handed over copies to members of his cabinet, and everyone's got to hit the ground running in a manner of speaking as part of the administrations to keep on moving forward as the country's Finance Act has been shredded by protesters in a manner of speaking. So there's a whole lot to look into. The executive branch, the legislature, the judiciary will have to take some haircut this year in the new supplementary budget that President Ruto announced yesterday. You want to read up the details. Meantime, we have all eyes on the Central Bank of Kenya for rate setting while inflation is down to a new low. Will that be an incentive for Tues and the rest of his team to cut interest rate to give some helping hand to Ruto's fiscal administration? And the aviation revenue up roughly 60% because we have more flights in and out of Kenya. And that is one good news that the government, the country can use. And of course, Kartek, which is a Norwegian company, has exited its Rwandan solar project after selling its stake for $1.38 million. Those are some of the headlines this morning. We got a whole lot more, by the way, coming your way for the rest of the week. But let's just step quickly into West Africa, which of course includes Nigeria. Food imports, 17% of the country's FX spending in the first quarter. In the meantime, the Minister of Agriculture says the recent waiver given on specific food items will expire in November. We have no idea of what happens after that. And Ghana's new Patriotic Party is looking to launch its 2024 manifesto on the 18th of August. There's a general elections later this year in December that will see the end of a two-term administration of President Nana Akufo-Addo. And bureau de change operators in Ghana are now verifying your cards, your passports before a transaction can be made. And Global Strategies Groups wants the new international technological institution to be based in Liberia. Those are some of the headlines here in West Africa. We've got a whole lot more from West Africa with the EFDB headquartered in Côte d'Ivoire, however, supporting food security in Burkina Faso, as well as Togo in West Africa as well. But let's move on and check with Southern Africa. The GSE fell sharply yesterday. The rand also fell on the dollar, 18.53 yesterday evening, down by 1.8% on the dollar, fell against the British pound as well as the euro, roughly 1.5% on average. Good news, however, for Malawi as the ARC, which is the Africa Risk Capacity, an agency of the African Union, is giving the Southern African country $11.6 million to mitigate the impact of El-Nino drought for the 2023-2024. The El-Nino drought's not over yet, still being felt in Malawi for the current year, 2025, in Zimbabwe, in Zambia, and part of South Africa. Pick and Pay, listed on the GSE, says it's raised about 4 billion rand in its oversubscribed rights issue for existing shareholders. Congratulations. Fuel prices, in a wider congratulations to South Africans. Fuel prices are going down this month, according to the Department of Minerals and Petroleum Resources. The whole idea is adjusting the price at the pump for the exchange rate, which is the rand, which is the currency exchange to the dollar, and of course, global oil prices. We've seen the rand made some gains last month against the US dollar, and oil prices also tapering, currently below $80 a barrel. And there's anger in Zimbabwe because the authorities are asking folks to pay more, 50% higher, to secure international travel passports. And Zambia is looking to its neighbors, Zimbabwe and South Africa, ESCOM, to buy power that will cost a couple of millions of dollars. But Zambia looking at about 17 hours a day power outage. You've got to knock on your neighbor's door. That's the latest from Southern Africa. Let's see what's grabbing the headlines this Tuesday in North Africa. Of course, President El-Sisi is getting some helping hand from the IMF and the World Bank. The country's trade deficit, however, declined 10.3% in the month of May. The SAIB Bank is supporting Egyptian fintech startups and entrepreneurs in the country. This bank from the Middle East, by the way. And Air Maroc says it's relaunching a direct flight between Casablanca-Beijing. That will be in 2025. Air Maroc is keeping one eye on its neighbor, the Ethiopian Airlines, which dominates that corridor right now in Asia. Now, wants to relaunch that and take up the competition with others such in Africa, such as Ethiopian Airlines. And finally, Egypt is looking at additional 45 plots of land to expand the country's new industrial zones. Those are your headlines. It's a Tuesday. Make the best of the day. Let's see what the numbers look like tomorrow again when we come back together for your Frontier Opening Bell. I am Bosi Nomafai. Do have a profitable day, and bye for now.